Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom matcher on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's easternmost player in ruby red, it is Dante going first lane. He is a UEF. He is a 1400 going first land. To his west is SK2 BNR going first land. He is a Seraphim. He is in Rust, and he is an 1800, the highest rank on Team 1. And continuing on northwesterly, we have Blissful Noob going first line as a Cybern. He is an Amethyst Purple. He is also an 1800 tied for the highest rank on his team with BNR. He is going first land. In Pac-Man Yellow, we have Twitch Mofo going first line. He is a Cybern as well, and he is a 1400. Again, he is in Pac-Man Yellow. In Imperial Gray to the west, we have Darkness Falls going first line as a UEF. He is a 1000 rated. And to his northeast, Batman Gray player of Prince of Wrath going first line as another UEF here. He is a 1500 in that rear guard air slot. Well, at least one of the possible two. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 2 Cyberns, and 1 Seraphim, which means Team 1 does not have access to Aeon technology. Starting off in the southwestern corner for Team 2 is Tesla Max going first line as a Cybern. He is in Royal Blue, and he is a 1400. In orange, the color orange in the middle, we have C2118 Freedom going first line as the first Aeon to be introduced of the game, and I believe he is no, he's not the one and only. He is a 1900, the highest rank on Team 2 and in the game overall. And in the rear guard, we have Robert, not Robot, there's an R in there, so Robert going first on. He is a Cybern. He is in glow-in-the-dark green, and he is a 1700. And in the rear with him is Touch My Berries going first line as the other Aeon here for Team 2. He is in Chevy Crimson, and he is a 1600. In the best color of FAFdom, we have a Noob Dragoon going first line as a Seraphim. He's in Forest Green as a 1200. And in the middle here for Team 2 is Schmuck Benny going first line as a Seraphim in Regal Purple. He is a 1300. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Cyberns, 2 UEF, and 2 Seraphim, which means Team 2 lacks Aeon technology. And as a reminder, Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. And in the form of mass, in Reclaim, how much do we have our players to scoop up? 17,000 for 12 players. It's not a ton, but it's a little over 1,000. It's about close to 1.5K per player. So not a decent, it's not, 400 or 600, but it's not like 30, 40, 50,000. But again, something is better than nothing. And taking a look at Team 1 side of the map, they have a Trimex position here, another one here, and here. They have a dual Mex position. We rarely see those. And another Trimex position in the northeast. So they have almost one Trimex position for each player on Team 1. And realistically, in the middle of the map here, this is going to be very annoying to deal with here. It looks like water for a second, but it is not. It is kind of has that like glossy kind of look to it, so it looks like water, but it is not. It is land. And in the west here, there's a huge open area, 1 little Mex. Of course, the same on the opposite side. So a lot of confined environments here down the middle, making experimentals a little bit difficult to traverse. They still can get through, but it's going to be a lot of annoying pathfinding here for those units. Smaller units like T1 to T3 should be fine. Only when you get into large numbers is really when it, of course, just kind of bottlenecks here. But most of the action on land will occur most likely in the east and the west. And with all that underway, let's go ahead and see what our players are up to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 players have left the main bases here for Team 2. Actually, nope, it's only 4 so far. And Team 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 player on Team 1. Nope, 6. Darkness Falls decides to descend on the western side of the map. So for Team 1, they have 3 players on the west, 2 players in the middle for the time being. We might see Blissful Noob rotate west, but he could stick in the middle. And only 1 player in the east, which I assume that BNR will probably shift that direction, because Team 2 currently has 2 players with a 3rd person in the rear at his main base, 1 in the middle, and only one in the West. This is going to be favoring Team 1 highly here, especially when all three comms come to bear. 2 to 3 comms says Blissful Noob on Team 1, so they do notice the threat is inbound here. And Team 2 should probably notice that threat that is inbound from Team 1. We do see Prince of Wrath going for the left drone upgrade. Usually, if those UEF comms, you do go for drones, go for left and right. But I have seen instances where only the left is built. And something about a crotch critter to allies left drone might be a observer here in this game. Don't know if it was observed or not, but I mean that would indicate that somebody was observing the match. But anyway, we do see Team 2's frontline comm of Shmuck Benny moving. I always want to say Barry for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe because of Touch My Berries is probably why. Yeah, it does look like there is an observer because it's repeating all of the notifications for upgrades. Blissful Noob repeats the starting gun upgrade here for Team 1. So it goes immediately just for the left drone, not the right one, just left. And then we'll go for the gun upgrade. So Team 1's going to have 2 comms with guns online. But Team 2 does not have anything on the cards here at the moment. And of course, as I mentioned, with 3 comms on this western side, Team 2's Tesla Max will go for gun as well, but it's going to be severe. I mean, if all 3 comms on Team 1 go for gun, that's going to do nothing. He needs more support very quickly. He's getting raided by a couple of these Mech Marines and Scouts outbound from Darkness Falls. And Tesla Max is going to need support sooner rather than later. We do see movement out from the north here from the middle player of BNR going after those nice little Aurora here. They have the range advantage in this engagement, but they of course lack hit points, so Freedom has to be very careful with how he micros those units. And BNR is just going to push forward and try to crush those Aurora underfoot, and it does look like he will get there and be a little bit body blocked there for a second, but then be able to get some shots on those Aurora, unfortunately for them. Gun range on the way here for Touch My Berries. He builds at least my preferred build order for range and then speed. He goes for range first, and his teammate here in the east of Noob Dragoon, he has left his main base and is going for gun as well. So again, 3 comms now officially on this eastern side for Team 2 and 3 comms on the western side here for Team 1. This side is probably going to flip for Team 2, and this side's going to flip for Team 1. So we might see a base trade possibly with just comms kind of rotating in a counterclockwise manner. But, I mean, we'll see if Team 2's player of Tesla Max or Team 1's Dante. And it does look like Blissful Noob is actually going to assist on the eastern side. So it will be a 2v3 scenario in favor of Team 2 on that side instead of a 3v1. We do see Tesla Max is starting to push forward a little bit. There's a lot of spam here outbound from Team 1. Lots of Mech Marines. There's a couple of Scouts in there as well. No tanks that I noticed as of yet. Darkness Falls just trying to, again, spam his enemy down. And Tesla Max might be going for a T2 upgrade. I wouldn't be surprised. Nope, not yet. He needs to get the higher tech units online, get those rhinos, and start pushing back some of that spam. We do see T2 coming online here for Team 1. It's actually for Prince of Wrath, not Darkness Falls. Darkness Falls is actually next to him over here. And he is going to be very tanked up here. Go gun, drone, and T2. The gun upgrade has been started here for his teammate of, I can zoom in and get on his name. There you go, Twitchy Mofo in the west. So almost every comm on Team 1 on the western side has an upgrade. We do see, of course, BNR could go for an upgrade right now. He's secured a little bit of the middle, but as I said, there's no mexes in the middle, so it's just map territory, which, I mean, it's nice to have that, but if you don't get any resource out of it, it's kind of not pointless, but it doesn't have any extra benefit. Advanced range is on the way and almost done here for Touch My Berries. He went straight for range. Usually you see range, gun, then advanced range, but he just goes straight for range and then advanced range. That definitely will assist him on the eastern front here. Noob Dragoon going for nano as well. Speed range going on the way here for the Seraphim commander of Shmuck Benny. Of course, gun damage remains on the way here for Dante. Large group of T1 forces. Again, a lot of them are Mech Marines. Not a lot of firepower behind them, but I mean, when you're pumping out as much as he is, he's currently at 29 of them. It does make lining up shots for those units a little bit annoying to deal with. And it's just Tesla Max. I'm still surprised that Team 1 hasn't come crashing down on him yet. They could easily crush this side of the map, but they just don't want to. Team 2 is, again, kind of in a similar situation, but at least on Team 1, there is some sort of defense of line on the eastern side, with 2 comms covering the western side. They can easily rotate if they need to. 3 comms push back, says Blissful Noob, to his allies. Blissful Noob is on Team 1. I don't know why they're... Wait, what? Push... Why does it say push back? Wouldn't it be push forward? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Regen ore has been started here for Schmuckberry. Going to regen all of those nearby units here for them. Not making them invulnerable, but making very, very annoying to deal with. He's talking about E in comments. He needs some energy to finish that upgrade. He's almost done though. There he goes. So he doesn't really need a whole lot more. And Chrono Dampener coming online for Touch My Berries. He also has speed as well. So that's a very highly aggressive comm. We usually don't see the Chrono Dampener for Aeons. We only really see the shield for the chest upgrade. That's usually the popular strategy to go for more survivability. But he's going to go for high attack power. Chrono Dampener will EMP every unit except experimentals and comms. You cannot Chrono Dampener or comm. So besides those 2 things, or those groups of things, that Chrono Dampener can essentially nullify most units, at least for a brief moment. And now Schmuck Benny's going to walk up close and personal with those strikers. Get a lot of veterancy for that commander. Already at 336, a third of the way there. Dante starting to singe his western front here. That's now going to turn into his northern front of Dante. We do see a lot of jostling between these comms here on Team 1 and Team 2. We have Tesla Max going for stealth and gun range on the way here for 2118 Freedom. He has the speed already. And let's see if Noob Dragoon does push forward. He's going for an upgrade first. I think it's Nano, if I remember correctly. I don't like it when the names for the upgrades disappear and the percentages. I don't know where they go, but they just disappear once in a while. It's very annoying. I do love this, using missile launches to go after the facilities here from Team 2. Love to see that here outbound from BNR from the middle, trying to assist that eastern attack. And it does look like the land armies are starting to clash here between the 2 teams. And with only 1 comm on the front line for Team 2, it was going to be a 3v2, but neither of those other comms in the backline have appeared. Schmuck Benny pushing forward. He's receiving a ton of firepower to the face at 20 hit points a second. He'll probably have to go back home and get that Nano on board. He's going to send all of his units in to body block his opponent so he can get away. Scout, please, says Freedom in the middle, and we do see his opponent of BNR sending out some forces around the middle of that mountain range environment, whatever you want to call it. And the attack has commenced in the west. I think I am going to split it up so we have a nice little view on what's going on. In the west, we have both Prince of Wrath and Twitchy Mofo on the eastern side of that west, and on the western side, we just have Darkness Falls with his forces. Tesla Max is having to fall back. We do see in the east, of course, Schmuck Benny has been able to get a little bit of distance between himself and his 2 ACU opponents. We do see Touch My Berries now coming into line as well, coming in to assist Schmuck Benny as well. And Touch My Berries again with the Chrono Dampener, advanced range, and speed on board. That commander will nullify a lot of these units once that Chrono Dampener activates. Should see a pulse here pretty shortly. Yep, there we do see the EMP just for a brief second. There it goes. I love the kind of spinning effect it has as it's being sent out. Makes it a little bit more vibrant. It just looks cool. Whoa, where was that overcharge going? It looked like it went up and then down there. That was very weird. Because at least on my side, it looked like it ran over the units and then back down over them. It's kind of weird. But now 2v1 here between Dante, Noob Dragoon, and Touch My Berries. Dante needs to fall back here. A lot of his units have been dealt with. And Team 2 is now getting some support hit from Freedom on the western side here to assist Tesla Max. It is now a 2v2 scenario. Darkness Falls is on that far western side, and those units outbound from Tesla Max at least holding him off for the briefest of moments, which again, anything is better than nothing at this point. Pillars being eradicated here by Noob Dragoon. He's almost at 1-star vengeance. Touch My Berries getting a little bit up there, and Schmuck Benny almost at 1-star as well. Blissful Noob as well as almost at 1-star, and Dante at 2-star vengeance. He's got a lot of kills on board that comm so far at 41. We have some interceptors over the top here from Noob Dragoon coming in to assist. something. I don't know. There's a spy plane or something overhead. Oh, it's just an air scout. And Tesla Max forcing back Prince of Wrath there in the west. Toshimofo's going for the reclaim. And he'll eventually get that one little facility and then be able to get out of danger. But it does look like Team 2 has pushed back Team 1 quite effectively. There is now a gunship online here from Team 1 outbound from Blissful Noob after Touch My Berries. He's back up to the green at about 1200, and Schmuck Benny is halfway to healed up. He has to, of course, get some more regen on board at that commander. But all of his nearby units get a lot of regen as well, so definitely a benefit for that. Intercept is going after that Whaler. The Whaler does have some AA on board, and there are some ASFs online here for Team 2 outbound from, who is that? That would be Robert. We haven't seen much of anything of him just because he's been in the rear guard ecoing / teching up. And we do see Tesla Max being focused down by Twitchy Mofo. Twitchy Mofo's comm is not in range, and Tesla Max will be able to get out of range of those matches here pretty shortly. Does have 2-star veterancy and is almost ways to a third. And it does look like with Freedom's assistance, Team 1 is going to be held off for the time being. And Darkness Falls is not pushing this western side. Definitely a missed opportunity here for that western side to collapse and being able to go in and go after the main base of Tesla Max. But Darkness Falls isn't pushing as much as he probably should. He does have the advantage. I mean, he does have the advantage in just the ton of T1 Mech Marines, but there are a couple of Tickle Cannons online. Very adept at taking out those Mech Marines for sure. And it does look like he will have to fall back, unfortunately, there for him. I'm going to set this back up for the one screen, not to cut down the middle here. It is kind of nice to be able to watch both fronts at the same time, because then I'd just be going back and forth. Not really enjoyable cast, but hopefully everybody was able to catch all of the action on both sides of the map, even if I was focused on one or the other, depending on what was going on. And Team 2, again, slow creep forward. There is a nice little fire base coming online here for Dante. Has some T1 and T2 PD to be able to assist in defensive measures, and a bunch of pillars here to the east to discourage any sort of run-by opportunities that might pop up. They haven't yet, but does look like Team 1 is shaping up to try to defend this as much as possible. With Dante pushing forward, he has Nano on board that commander now. It is now going to force his way forward after those engineers trying to get a little bit of reclaim from that last battle. And if Dante isn't careful, he could push a little bit too far forward, and these two comms could easily chase him down, especially with Touch My Berries, Range Comm, and Noob Dragoon's Nano Comm as well. I mean, it's a long way to walk behind those PD. Team 1's Dante has to be very careful. I know he wants to go for reclaim, but now he's in range of Touch My Berries' commander. He needs to get out of there, and he's not going to be in range because Touch My Berries has the advanced range of the Aeon Sniper commander that he is. And instead of going for the shield upgrade on board his commander, he's gone for some Asylum T2 shields to assist him, which, again, they shield other units as well, but it's always nice to have a personal shield. Advanced regen aura on the way here for Schmuck, making sure he can regen his units quite nicely. So he's going to be, again, highly aggressive, especially if he switches from Nano to Advanced Nano. He'll be very, very tanky on that eastern side of the map. Now we see again an attack once again outbound here from Darkness Falls with all that T1 spam. Those Tickle Cannons are again just ripping through all of those units really quickly. There's not a lot of tanks in this mix as well. Probably need some T1 Lobos from Darkness Falls, but it doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere there for the time being. Team 2 has actually held position for a decent bit, has actually reclaimed this position as well that Tesla Max has, and it does look like Freedom is taking over management of that western side as well. Team 1 hasn't really attacked from the middle for a while, so he's going to rotate his units. He has T3 online running around with some Harbingers. And in the east, that pillar wall is starting to come down here, but it doesn't look like Team 2 has a lot of firepower in the way of T2. They have one little Ilshi that I noticed right now. I think that's the... no, there's another one over there. So there's two Ilshi. Oh, there's a couple more. There's a couple more Ilshis. And we do see the comm of Noob Dragoon coming in to assist with his nano comm and gun as well. The pillars are starting to fall, but more PD are lining this western side as well, so he has to be very careful of how far in he pushes forward, because he needs to be caught unawares if he's not too careful. And nano repair is on the way here for Blissful Noob, trying to make sure he survives any sort of incursion that may occur. And no run-bys, no sneaky trying to maneuvers here between both teams. So, and that's just due to the fact that the land, again, in the middle is very hard to navigate. You know, just kind of forces that land engagement, if it does come into the middle, into two avenues that are easily defendable. And then on the western side, it's wide enough that maybe there could be a little run-by on the edge of the map. But both teams have done a very good job in holding off any sort of holes that may occur, boarding them up, or whatever term you want to use for whatever game you play. Whenever I think of boarding up holes, I always think of zombies, COD zombies, where you board up the walls that the zombies would peer on, or come on through. Not peer on through. They do look at you, to be fair, but they look to kill you. That's their main goal. I feel like COD Zombies between World at War and 3 was really, really, really good. I kind of like some elements of BO4, but everything after that's not really been that great. Cold War was fine. It was better than BO4 in my opinion, but it's just I feel like the Easter eggs were too easy comparatively with 3 and 4 especially. I feel like they could have been a little bit more difficult. They felt like for the most part they were just handed to you. You didn't have to find realistically a whole lot of stuff on the map or any of that sort of stuff. Because I went from BO3, BO2, and BO4 to COD, called Cold War, and it was just kind of like, where's the challenge kind of thing? So, I don't know. There are different flavors for different peoples, of course, and Outbreak wasn't the funnest game mode, but it was fine. It was kind of like a firefight kind of game mode. Kind of reminds me of Halo a little bit in that regard. But besides that, I feel like the golden age of zombies is between World at War and 3. And then 4 was just kind of like an epilogue to 3. We do see in the west, Tesla Mechs and Freedom have actually shifted from this position to here, trying to deny Darkness Falls' position on the underside of this little hillock here. We do see Tesla Mechs going to stand. He needs to move a little bit closer. And yep, there he goes. He does push forward a little bit. I have the high ground. Can't stop me. There are some missiles raining in overhead next to him, but looks like they have a issue to deal with on that hill there. There are some Ravager fire actually arcing up to go deal with that comm from Team 2, so Tesla Mechs has to be a little bit careful of that, but he's doing pretty good right now on that western side. On the eastern side of things, it does look like Schmuck Benny is just walking down Dante. Dante should be retreating immediately. Schmuck Benny essentially just acting as a giant bullet sponge, while all of his units and his teammate have touched my berries, who has received a ton of firepower, mind you, is just kind of hanging under that dual shield. I love the kind of not ellipses, but the Venn diagram that forms from those shields overlapping. But Dante is going to die here. He's going to be the first casualty of the game at 20 plus minutes. At least he survived till 20. It's kind of always a hard thing to watch somebody die before 20 minutes because they didn't really participate in a whole lot of the game. But there he goes. And Blissful Noob is on the way out, just retreating, trying to get out of range of those dual comms. Schmuck Benny is in the yellow, but he'll be fine for the time being at 108 hit points a second on that comm. We do see some units trying to shoot from below, but of course, unlike the Cybern comm to the west, where they had the high ground, these units have the low ground, and it makes it very difficult to shoot up, but easier to shoot down. And the direct fire laser, the cannons of the Utashaudas, they can hit those units, again, direct line of sight. If there's anything in the way, it gets body blocked, but having a PD should essentially have been like right about here, not back there, but it does protect it against any sort of attacks from below. So again, there's benefits to both sides of that. And Team 1 has been pushed significantly back all the way up to almost the main base of now, who is that? BNR. BNR should probably give that over to Blissful Noob so he can micro the eastern side. And because Blissful Noob is receiving some firepower and he desperately needs that assistance here. We do see those comms here for both Touch My Berries and Benny are not pushing forward. They probably actually maybe could have killed off Blissful Noob there, but decided not to. The downside, of course, when you not give your enemy more bases, you're killing a player, and therefore their base is going to somebody else, is you jumpstart their eco as pictured here, where at BNR is 350 mass income here, while Freedom and Robert are not even at 300 yet. So that is going to be a huge advantage here for him. for BNR, but again, he has to now micro the eastern side, which it would be really easy to just hand everything over to Blissful Noob and do it that way. But again, that's just how it's going right now here for Team 1. Need to see if he has chicken, says C2118 Freedom. And he doesn't have chicken yet. He's building it. He's about to cross into the green here pretty shortly. And at 22 minutes on the clock, let's take a look at mass and all that stuff here. Team 2 hovering between 1.1, 1.2 mass income. Team 1 at 1K income. So about, I'd say 150 roughly here for Team 2 versus Team 1. Team 2 operating, it's about 60-40 here for Team 2 versus Team 1. And of course, 5 players remain on Team 1 and 6 players remain on Team 2. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win the game. And again, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit that notification bell so that you know when I do post. I do try to post on the regular at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time every single day, but there are days where I kind of forget to put the right time, so I post sometimes a little bit earlier or later depending on when the default is on that scheduler. But again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate all of the support I receive. Even if I don't respond to your comments in as fast as I normally did, I do get to them, so I do appreciate anything and everything you do have to say. And it looked like Team 1's Twitchy Mofo was going to get sandwiched there by both the comm of Tesla Max and his forces, but with that laser upgrade on board that commander, and now Nano as well, that comm was very, very powerful to deal with. Essentially, it's going to have to be dealt with in the air, or from the air versus on the ground. And he is one step away from going for the Telemaser commander by swapping out his Nano for Teleporter. Mobile artillery, says Blissful Noob. Don't know what he's talking about. That's T3. Othams in some Ilshis here. Those Ilshis actually just, I mean, they're wrecking the comm. Same with the Othams, but Blissful Noob with the gun and Nano is being able to hold off a lot of firepower here for the time being just with his commander. And does look like more attention has to be diverted here from BNR to the eastern side. His units are starting to peripherate all around, but like I said, he should just hand everything over to Blissful Noob and focus on either producing his chicken, which he did a couple minutes ago, there it is right there, or whatever else he's deciding to do. But realistically, the units in the facility should be given over to Blissful Noob because he's been on this eastern side for the entire time and really should just have full control of said side. But it does look like with that chicken in hand here for Team 1, they're going to force back Team 2 Schmuck Benny. Team 1 PD is going to be spammed up. Unfortunately, with it being that close to one another, even if he builds a nice line, that AoE cannon from those chickens will just rip those PDs apart. So I don't think that's really worth the investment. I feel like if it was just T3 Othams, it would be a difference. But what do we have over here? We have a Colossus online here for Team 2's Freedom. We could see Freedom try to use the chicken, trying to use the Colossus against the chicken. And the chicken is now actually going to go back and around, giving a lot of breathing space now for those other players on Team 2 to hold the line and build more defenses. Sniper bots starting to be added to the lineup here for Touch My Berries, his comms. Forces in the east. And there are mobile artillery, those Serenities online, trying to attack units at range. But here comes that Colossus. One chicken versus one Colossus. Colossus wins every time. But there is a case where if the chicken gets close enough to the Colossus, then it could just be a trade. But those PD are going to be the first targets. Shield going to go down as well. T3 Mechs, that's going to be taken out immediately here by that Colossus for some nice veterancy. Almost at 13,000 to get some nice hit points. The chicken does have better range than the Colossus, but not by much. And now an Otham just got grabbed by that Colossus. And now we have a proper experimental fight here. First of its kind of the game. Nice little lasers going to one another. The chicken does decide to push in, so even if it dies, it will try to kill off at least all the all the Harbingers. And if that Colossus will get some veterancy from that. And almost at 2 as well. Those Harbingers need to get out of range before that Ion Storm kicks off. And there it goes. Looks like it just got out of range. Oh, got singed a little bit in the back of the head, but it should be fine for the time being. And those forces outbound from Team 1 are facing some steep annoyances with those sniper bots online here from the Aeon. And in the west, the campaign to conquer that side of the map for Team 1 has slowed down significantly. The comm of Twitchy Mofo has retreated for the time being. Again, I very much assume that he's going to go for Teleporter at some point. just because, again, he's already halfway to it anyways. So he might as well just go for it. But he's not going to, if he does it now, I don't think there's really a lot worth it here. There's a nice air grid online here for Wilbert. And he's getting some T3 mass fabs online as well. Actually, T2 not mass fabs, not T3. And just the colossal production here for Freedom in the middle. And also a crab coming online here for Tesla Max. Realistically, the teleportation with the laser combination here for the Cyberns is really going to be useful right now against Team 2. It's only when they get to nukes, artillery, game raiders, that's when it really becomes important. But a lot of players, especially at this high level, do have plans for teledefense. At least they're thinking about it at some point, especially for those high-value targets. So it does look like that Colossus has been defeated, unfortunately, here for Team 2, but it does take a couple of units with it to the grave. So those engineers need to get on station, but this is firmly in Team 1's territory, so they're going to be able to get that mass scooped up into their coffers. Fat Boy on the western side here for Darkness Falls, just firing all of that artillery into Team 2's defenses. The PD that I've sat here for a very long time will now come to an end. Cougar walking forward probably should not be going into range of those typical cannon. Just shouldn't just do that. Probably should hide again around the the Fat Boy. And Team 2, what's very interesting is we have a bunch of just T1 AA outbound here from the air player of Robert. You can see just 49 of these Sky Slammers just walking back and forth, and what's nice about that is it's mobile AA, so it's covering some air in that regard, but it also provides just constant vision back and forth, which I don't know why he doesn't go for one of those soothsayers, those intel gathering installations, but it does cost power, and these Sky Slammers don't, so we'll see better than another thing. Almost GC done. It says Team 2 in the east for Touch My Berries, and with Schmuck's commander being able to regen nearby units, that's going to be huge for that Colossus to get a bunch of hit points back immediately from that region. Using a advanced nano repair, which he's currently at 45,000 hit points. He has as many hit points as almost an experimental, 258 points of regen per second, and then he shares a ton of regen. I mean, Optim's getting 120 hit points a second from that comm is huge. It's huge amount of hit points a second. I mean, for a Colossus getting 120, it's not a lot, but for a unit of 5,600 getting 120, it's a ton. It's a ton of hit points. It's a huge percentage. I think it's, 10% would be 500, so it's about 2 to 3% hit points. It's a ton. But the Megalith now being bombarded by artillery fire from that Fat Boy. He has a little bit of a hill that's kind of in his way here. It does look like one of the shots does make it through a little bit, but now that Colossus has received a decent amount of firepower, lost 20,000 of its 110,000 hit points. He's not going to fall out of range to be able to deal with that Fat Boy. Fat Boy trying desperately to keep it in range, but that Megalith doing a little bit of a good job of, again, staying out of its reach. Colossus now moving on the western side once again. Going to face off against a Monkey Lord, but that Colossus is going to win that fight most handedly. Cloaking now coming online here for Twitchy Mofo. So he's going for the highly offensive, possibly you can notice me commander of Cloaking. Team 2 has Omni, and he's in that Omni range, which there is an Omni in the middle. And if he popped into this range, he would see him. So, again, something to watch out here for Team 1's commander of Twitchy Mofo. But dual Colossus in the middle here. One of them severely wounded, though. And the chicken does collapse here for Team 1. There is a Fat Boy now online here for Prince of Wrath. We haven't talked about him in a little bit. He's just kind of been in the back line doing what he's doing. Wonder if he's going for any cheeky little spicy plays here in the northwest corner. Lines of Fat Boy coming online. Also a Crab has been started here for Darkness Falls as well. So gotten some cyber and tech here from his teammate. Prince of Wrath going for an artillery piece as we speak. Another chicken online here for BNR. It looks like he just finished that. Lots of experimentals being built by multiple players on both teams. Don't see any plays outbound from him. But there is a Colossus in the east here for Team 2's player of Touch My Berries, and there's realistically not a lot to defend against this. There's Team 1 Bomber Spam outbound, but it's going to take a couple seconds. Would like to see that Cougar, actually Lightning Tank, kind of push up a little bit more. And the Colossus focusing on the PD and the Perseus, not allowing the Perseus to get into range. And obviously some of them have been grabbed. But that Colossus has received a ton of firepower so far to its face. It's crushed 2 of those units so far, but it needs to move and take out those PD. That's a lot of free damage that has been going on constantly here from Team 1. He needs to take out the Triads. The T1 PD don't pose him a threat. He just needs to move a little bit more. There he goes. Another wave of bombers is outbound here. Going to get a nice little wave in. Take out a decent amount of hit points in that engagement. But this position in the northeast for Team 1's BNR will collapse here pretty shortly. There are a couple more PD. Looks like Colossus is focused on other measures going after the T3 units with the Perseus. That is a huge threat, of course, just due to the fact that, of course, they pump out a lot of damage. Optimus not coming in to assist, but Twitchy Mofo is defeated by Robert, and that was from a bug. And, of course, Twitchy Mofo was going for the cloaking upgrade. Well, let's be real. And Prince Dark did essentially nothing, says Twitchy Mofo. So that is a casualty for Team 1. It's now at 6v4 in favor of Team 2. And I did what? That's Bull, says Blissful. Oh, even so, Blissful Noob's coming in to defend. Darkness Falls about that. Reclaim Princess Mexes. I asked for NG so I could go smithing. Anyway, so there's just conversations between those players kind of annoyed at one another, which, I mean, it's annoying when you die in this game and you feel like you did everything you could and you feel like your teammate didn't do enough. But, you know, sometimes you die and it happens. I mean, I die all the time when I play games, so it's kind of one of those that I feel people's pain, but you just kind of have to live with it. But the bug, being very crucial for Team 2's air defense, is being targeted by those ASFs wanting to try to singe it. It's still fine, though. It's at 1-star efficiency. And that chicken's going to get a lot of value out of it, in death at least. With the Iron Storm activating around those Colossi in the middle of the map. In the west, I thought that was an explosion. We see a crab being annihilated by 3 Fat Boy fires, and now 1 Monkeylord trying to retreat in the face of another Monkeylord, but with, again, 3 Fat Boys bearing down on that Monkeylord, that thing is going to die very, very quickly. So for Team 2's western line, it is starting to collapse just under the weight of all that attack power. And in the middle of the map, another chicken outbound here from Team 2 this time, from Schmuck Benny. There are 2 chickens trying to intercept, and this T3 land facility is about to get ripped to shreds once those T3 pigeons and those mass extractors, or mass fabricators, excuse me, get annihilated. There goes the pigeon. Doesn't AoE spread. Needs to just kill off a couple of those other mass fabs. All of them have been targeted for reclaim so they don't explode. Good micromanagement here by BNR, but that chicken's just going to keep going forward. Might actually start singeing the air grid here for Blissful Noob. That's definitely not what he wants. Pigeons, of course, being reclaimed to prevent that AoE explosion that they do cause. Another one here in the east. That one might fall due to... Oh, there it goes. Another one in the middle. It might cause a cascade. One more will do it. There it goes. Takes out another section of that air grid. Oh, and takes out another section of it just by the last second. This pigeon, had it been killed off, that T3 air facility would have been gone and Team 1 would be denied T3 air, at least from Blissful Noob. That was a huge push here from Team 2's Schmuck Benny. Just shoved it down Team 1's throat on that eastern side. Really disrupted defensive lines and production. They have, what was that? They have 2 much land. AA there. Can't do. You spam labs and didn't use your comment all. Anyway, so they're just still talking about what happened in the west. But in the west here from Team 1's Darkness Falls and assisting here from Blissful Noob, that was once Twitch Emofo. We have 3 Fat Boys bearing down on Team 2's base here, owned by Tesla Max. This Megalith is about to be finished off, but unfortunately it will not be. T3 Quantum Gateway is online spamming out those RASCOMs, and I feel like it's time to just abandon projects and get out of range. That SACU goes, yep, nope, I'm done. Nope, see you, bye. Pigeon about to blow up. There goes all of that support. One more facility. Nope, that gets ripped to shreds. Those look like 2 SACUs, maybe even 3 will get out of range. And Team 2's western side has collapsed entirely. There's nothing that Team 2 can do. It's done and dusted. 3 Fat Boys, a ton of AA. I feel like a nuke is definitely called for here from Team 2 to deal with that. That Soul Ripper is just going to run into a lot of flak and die. Probably not the best idea to send that forward. Artillery is online here for Team 2's outbound from Robert. I always want to say Robert instead of robot. Or I don't want to say Robert, so I'm trying to accentuate the O. Artillery fire here from those disruptors on top of SK2's base. Going after the chicken production that he's doing here. So, oh, it actually gets a bomber in the mix as well. So Team 1, how did that artillery build in the west? It's still on its way. It's in the green now, so they're going to have some T3 artillery of their own. But, of course, Team 2 has a huge issue to deal with their entire western flank just being ripped to shreds. The Soul Ripper now, I don't know if they're trying to ground fire it or not, but it looks like that way from the skies. AA coming into range. Monkey Lord should just fall back and hide underneath all the shields in AA. But T3 dual ring mixes are being taken out here by Team 1, just wrecking the eco here for Team 2. Team 2 is actually at 2.2 and is going to fall here pretty quickly. Team 1 at 1.6. They've been ecoing pretty hard here this game. And they just don't have the land defenses to deal with this. And Team 1 has also countered, of course, with a bunch of AA. But 2 Colossi are online trying to get in range of those Fat Boys. Even if they take 2 of them out. Oh, there go the lasers. They're honing in on that first Fat Boy. You need to target the Fat Boy at everything. Not at all, just target the Fat Boy. They have been producing a ton of T2 and T3 AA. And those look like that is the main target. Colossus should not be focusing on the crab. You're not going to kill it off. You need to focus on the Fat Boy production facilities of those mobile factories. There it goes. That is done and dusted. The AA has mostly been cleared out, clearing the way for the bug, but I feel like he could have taken out probably at least one of the Fat Boys in that interim. ASFs will fly over top to shield that bug. But, of course, there's a line of T2 and T3 AA with shields on board as well. And it's going to run headfirst into that Soul Ripper. Soul Ripper is starting to retreat in the face of it. ASFs have caught that a little bit unawares. And all Team 1 needs to do is kill the bug off. And that is their main threat done and dusted. Bug is going to fall into the red. Still trying to kill off that Fat Boy. Fat Boy still hasn't died yet. Is at 3,000 hit points. Gets a nice rank in vet. Now it's at 5-star veterancy. Colossus cannot catch up to them. Will kill off some AA with its death. But besides that, the bug is still online. Team 2 has yet to lose a player. But essentially they've lost one player as an entire eco. And that would be for Tesla Max. He's been knocked out of this game. He could easily be given over experimentals, whatever he could be given over to micro. Even the air could be microed here by Tesla Max just to use his APM more effectively. And Artillery is focusing against the Western player here for Darkness Falls, which shores up a little bit of the attack power that SK2 was receiving. But the T3 Duke is online here for Prince of Wrath. He's going for more shielding to protect that installation. Needs more, obviously, but there's only so much you can build realistically. Second Disruptor almost online. Robert, you kind of might want to put a shield right about here. Probably put one here and one here just to shield all the T3 mexes. But that's going to blow up in your face. Hopefully not quite literally, and take a chunk out of your eco. Okay, it does look like he's building more shields to protect, so definitely smart on that. Disruptor has been stopped for the time being. I mean, you don't have to send all of your engineers to do that, just some of them. It looks like, I think a spy plane just got knocked out of the sky. At least it looked like it knocked out of the sky by some artillery. Oh, definitely need more shielding over here. That looks like they're going to be reclaimed so they don't explode, which is probably smart, but still, you could finish that off. But the western side is just non-stop hammering. Team 2's Freedom actually charging forward with his comm, using the Colossus as a meat shield, essentially. Overcharge kills off a decent chunk of those hit points, and 3 Colossi rip the rest of those hit points off the face of that crab. 3 GC, says Blissful Noob, and they now have to rotate backwards to deal with the incoming threat of Team 1. Team 1 has to deal with that Soul Ripper once again, but there's just, again, more AA, but behind these Fat Boys just wrecking shop here. Team 2 has just received just a slap to the face when they attacked in the east, which they are still doing, and they've almost taken out Blissful Noob's entire base here. So while the attack in the west occurs here for Team 1, Team 2's attack in the east is pushing Team 1 back as well. So I might just split this as well, where this is the main theater of war here for Team 1. The main theater of war here is Team 2. That bug does eventually get killed off after a while. It was just the T3 and T2 AA that really just killed it off. How's that Disruptor doing? It is online, so Team 2 has a second artillery installation that they can use to their advantage. A lot of units going to gather up here in the northeastern corner. Might be gearing up for one push. Oh, is that this? Duke is fine right now. Darkness Falls. Those look like it is being targeted now. The 3 Colossi group up to kill off the crab, but with the 3 Fat Boy firepower that is Team 1, that and actually dual crab support as well. They might kill one of the crabs off, but 3 for 1 is definitely what Team 1's looking at here. I take that trade any day of the week. I feel like at this point the split isn't really necessary. I'll put the map back to where it was. But a new Colossus comes off the line. 1 crab has fallen, but just the weight of the Fat Boys is huge here for Team 2. It's just have to deal with that oppressive firepower. Team 1 is probably building more as we speak. Another crab outbound. And looks like Darkness Falls has actually stopped producing stuff in the northwest corner. Dual Colossus now in range of the Fat Boy, and this is what Team 2 needed. They needed to take out those Fat Boys sooner rather than later. And one of them has fallen, giving a little bit more time for Team 2 to build up defensive measures. Another Colossus online, actually diverted from the east for Touch My Berries. They're coming from the west. Artillery raining down against the Disruptors. But they are decently shielded, though. There is a couple of mass fabs that probably need to be re-shielded, but besides that, it's still confined. T2 miasma lines are just being built by Touch My Berries, so even if Team 1 comes close, Touch My Berries' position will be secure, and he's also, of course, shielding the artillery installation as well. Colossus trying to catch up. It will be killed off before it gets into range, unfortunately. But again, 1 Fat Boy is huge. Looks Fat Boy reconstruction operations or construction operations are happening on Team 2's side of the map, and now an emissary is online here from Team 2. That's outbound from Touch My Berries. Looks like it was finished off realistically, not early, but soon. And Awasaw Bomber over the top, just going to cement Team 2's position of Fat Boys need to just go away. And nice emissary fire takes out a nice little land facility, producing a bunch of engineers. Unfortunately here for Team 1, I love the aggressive placement of the Fat Boy facility. Unfortunately for them, there are multiple Colossi inbound, and there's now emissary fire raining down from the heavens. Looks like it's being retasked onto something else. Team 1 is now focusing. Team 2 is still now focusing on that Duke that's being constructed. More shields are being built all the time. Of course, why is your air on the ground, says Schmuck. What? It was on the ground. I don't know what that's in reference to. The T3AA is being targeted here by that Colossus. That Fat Boy won't even finish, unfortunately, here for Team 1's Darkness Falls, and it is primaried by that Colossus. It is not going to be constructed, unfortunately. All of that mass and energy for that project gets not wasted, but essentially wasted. And don't know what's going on with that. Another crab is being built here by Team 2's Cybern player of Robert. And on the eastern frontier, Team 2 is just kind of falling back. They don't want to push it as much, don't want to invest a ton of mass and units to this. They just want to defend and call it a day. Postproof Noob now coming back to rebuild his air grid, but air has been knocked out. Team 1 doesn't have any air realistically to speak of besides one T3 air facility that's just being used for spy planes. I hear chicken fire going on. There it is. They're pushing on this eastern side, having a comeback here for Team 1 with 3 chickens. But a lot of the attention from Team 2's green player of Noobja Green on the eastern edge with 2 chickens and a whole bunch of Team 1 spam and some lightning tanks and offense. There's a lot of engineers here. They're going to do nothing against those chickens. So Team 1 defending with engineers, which, I mean, if you reclaim really, really, really fast, then maybe that'll work. But the shielding actually starting to get broken through here by Team 1. Looks like Team 2's Robert not focusing so much on shielding. It's actually lost a P-gen on that left side of that artillery piece, slowing down its fire rate, but not by much, just a little bit. And the artillery fire for Team 1, I mean, the shields are being broken through here by Team 2 as well. But those engineers are trying to keep it online. Emissary fire raining in on top. That's not going to help. All the shielding is down just as I say something, and there it is. That shot lands, takes out 2 pigeons, and of course kills off that artillery piece of the Duke. Team 1 is in desperate need of a miracle, at least in one theater or another. The push to the southwest was huge, but they just couldn't break through Freedom and the rest of Team 2's defensive line. And the Emissary and Disruptor Fire now raining over the top here for Team 2. And it looks like Team 1 is kind of on its way out, unfortunately, here for them. They're doing a very good job on this western side, but they just couldn't materialize it into the main base. That was Team 2. Those chickens are still pushing through, mind you, so on the eastern side, looks like they're making some headway. But, again, even if they get through and kill this entire base here for Noob Dragoon, this position is well shielded, and also there's Team D, not Team D, but there's a Colossus being built. There's a bunch of Team 1 PDs being protected by the stealth field generator that's also protecting Touch My Berry, so Team 1 knows nothing of where that comm is. They know the facility's there, they just can't see them. The Chicken trying to do massive amounts of damage against Team 2's Noob Dragoon's base. We'll kill off a couple of pigeons just due to the AoE splash of the ion cannon. The ion, sorry, storm, the ion cannon. This isn't Star Wars. Oh, Chicken might die just due to the dual ion storms. Awasa over top, trying to take out that third and final Chicken. Schmuck actually pushes on forward. He could be the first casualty of Team 2. Overcharges in. The Chicken, so focused on something else, doesn't notice the enemy comm in front of him. And the Awasa lands on top of the Colossus. Doesn't kill him off, but that SMD is not going to survive that ion storm, that's for sure. If it actually gets, oh, I was going to say, if it actually gets targeted. And 2 more chickens appear here to the north here for Team 1's BNR. Yeah, I was going to come in and get a nice little AoE explosion. Kills off most of those bombers in the interim, though, just with the splash on that bomb. And just more units raining in here from Team 1, trying to do anything and everything. Team 1 does have access to UEF tech. I'm surprised they didn't go for the lasers of the UEF Novax, but, you know, maybe they have other priorities. Oh, takes out a couple pigeons. That's never... Schmuck has probably done as much damage to his opponent as he's done to either his own base or his ally's base. That's always essentially got left with this T3 land facility and essentially a T3 mechs, and that's it. He doesn't really have a lot of eco to play with. And Darkness Falls, Control K's, as the game's over for him, his base is essentially annihilated. Not really much left standing in that regard. Team 1 loses another player. It's now a 3v6 game. Team 2 shaping up to have a flawless game here. Haven't seen one of those in a very, very long time. And it's not like Team 2 outclassed Team 1. And it was a pretty well even spread, 92% on the overall game balance. And then, of course, the averages are the exact same. So, again, pretty close. But Chicken gets all barely out of range here. But Schmuck gets killed off by SK2 BNR. Just as I was saying, there was a possible flawless game on the hands here for Team 2. Looks like the Ion Storm just killed that comm off. It's now a 5v3, so at least Team 1 has a consolation prize. They killed off at least one team member of Team 2, but try Colossus in the middle going after that solo. Actually, there's another megalith that's been built, so actually not solo, dual megaliths. And FAF Warrior online here for Blissful Noob. It's just Blissful Noob and SK2 BNR remaining. Essentially, Prince of Wrath is just hanging up here with his team and a Blissful Noob. It's kind of hanging out underneath some shield coverage and PD coverage. Trying to build another artillery. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. Awasa over the top. Doesn't drop its bomb. Don't know where it's going, but don't know. It's not... I don't know why he flew that over if it's not going to drop. Blissful Noob actually just Control K's in the face of everything that is going on here. Tesla Max says GG's out in chat. So does SK2 BNR. And lands on the shield, takes out a couple of the T3 facilities, but the AA on board the Fat Boys and everything nearby here, trying to target all those ASF and that bomber. But 4 Colossi in the middle here for Team 2's Freedom. Says absolutely not, sir. Is he trying to bomb his own allies' units? Oh, man! had to have been on purpose. There was nothing here from Team 1. Oh, maybe something was here. I don't know. But it's just got to hurt. I was over the top going after a ton of T1 engineers. And almost goes off that FAF point. Almost actually would scalp himself, essentially. Team 2's Freedom is the one driving that bomber. But it's just one comm remaining, essentially, here for Team 1. And that is SK2. And I feel like at this point we can just speed this game back up. That's hilarious. That is very funny what's going on right now. So we have Prince of Wrath receiving firepower from the Triads from SK2, trying to take out the comm, and because there's no direct friendly fire, they just can't do anything while the artillery lands around him. The Ravagers, look at the Ravagers line up. They're trying to target Prince of Wrath. Oh, that's really fun. That makes me laugh. That made my day. I don't know why this is funny to me, but look at all the firepower onto that comm. They're like, please die. Oh, they're gonna energy storage him. So he's gonna control K. It does some damage. Hey, look at that. This is the game now. This is what we're focused on. You know, all the artillery raining in, the units coming in as well here from Team 2. Team 1 is focused on trying to kill their friendly teammate of Prince of Wrath, trying to build all the E storages and just kill them off. Maybe the Rascom explosion will be enough as well. Let's see. He's at 16,000 max. There we go. Oh, he's not. There he goes. The chickens came in and assisted with that. Fat Boy Fire. Team 1 gets killed. Prince of Wrath has been defeated by SK2, and he leaves as well. He wanted the final scalp of the game, and he says, okay, there you go. I'm done for the game. That was funny. Anyway, I feel like Team 2, I mean, the funny play from Team 1, SK2, that's a different thing. That's just its own thing, just the very funny play. But in terms of all seriousness, Team 2, let's see, who deserves MVP from Team 2? Freedom did a very good job here with this Colossi in the middle. He had a donut, didn't really do much, but him and Robert were really good at defending this western side. Had Freedom collapsed, that probably would have been game, and Team 1 just would have stormed on through. And lots of T2 air headquarters, upgrading the T3 because why not? Building another emissary. But, I mean, besides Freedom's defensive measures there on the west, we did have a nice attack outbound from the combined players of Touch My Berry, Schmuck, and I think that was it? Not Tesla Max was on the west, Touch My Berry, Schmuck, and Noob Dragoon. I feel like I don't know, those three players did a really good job collapsing that eastern side. They kind of left that alone. But I feel like MVP might just go to Freedom just because he held the middle so much. He really was a driving force for both the middle and the western side defense. Let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game in general. And, of course, let me know your picks for MVP or underrated or whatever else award you want to give it to anybody. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please share this video as well. And, of course, thank you so very much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one.